guys, this is Professor Deering, and today we're going to look at how to find primary sources for your semester history project. So you're going to notice that this is going to take us a little bit less time than whenever we were looking for secondary sources. Primary sources tend to be a little bit easier to find. They tend to be a little bit more accessible in some ways. For most of you, the easiest way to start finding a primary source is actually going to be to use Google. You don't have to go anywhere special for this. You don't have to go to the library unless this method doesn't work for you. If this doesn't work for you, then I encourage you to contact me or contact the subject matter librarian that I posted about earlier. Anyway, for primary sources, Google tends to be a really easy way to go. So let's try something. I don't think we have anybody working on this, but we'll try this one. So if we wanted to find something from George Washington, we could do George Washington, and then since I've already looked for these sorts of things, George Washington is a primary source. If you put in primary source there, most of what you're going to get is going to be primary. Some of the stuff that you're going to get may not be. So this is where you have to put on your sleuth hats and make sure you're getting something good. So you can see our first thing that pops up, documents and papers of George Washington. So we can go check that out. So this looks like we've got a lot of different documents. So those of you that are working on something like the French and Indian War, you might want to go check out George Washington's responses to the French and Indian War. Those of you that are working on the Revolution, this might be a good place for you to go as well. So here we have a series of letters. So you've got one from Washington to Lafayette. And one of the cool things about looking online for these is that most of the time you're going to actually get a printed version. So you don't have to go through and read something handwritten that might be hard to read. So that's a good thing. So this is a good place to look. That would work. One of the other things that you guys might find would be government sources. So if there's a .gov or a .edu after it, you're probably looking at something pretty quality. .orgs as well. What I don't want to see you doing with your primary sources is I don't want to see somebody's blog post. I don't want to see somebody's personal web page, but if it's got a .edu, a .gov, a .org behind it, most of the time for you guys that's going to be pretty high quality stuff. It's going to be pretty easy to find something. So let's try something else. So we've done Washington. Why don't we go and look for something Civil War affiliated? So let's go check out Gettysburg. A couple of you I think are working on that. So let's check out Gettysburg and see what we can find. So you've got a couple different options. This one is affiliated with a textbook. So let's go and we'll just look at this first one. So looks like we've got some different options. You can just click primary sources. One of the things you guys are going to notice about this is that you're going to find a lot of your primary sources via educational websites. So this one is geared at the Civil War. It's geared at people looking, educators and students looking for things. So we can look at personal correspondence. So you can see there's letters from Ulysses S. Grant, Robert E. Lee. We'll look at some of those. So again, this is going to be a good resource for somebody who's looking at this. You can look, there's the letter text, it's printed out for you. So this is pretty accessible, pretty easy to get to. They've also got, like, it looks like the narrative from Sojourner Truth. That might be a good one. Looks like you can figure out where you want to go in that. So when you're looking for these primary sources, the key things you want to look for the document that's written during the time. It may be easiest to find this through an educational site like this one. It may be easiest to find this in that way. If you're having trouble, if you're just not finding the kind of source that you want to find looking on Google, then let me know, because there's some other more complicated things that you can do. For most of you, you're working on a topic that is big enough and broad enough you're going to be able to find something. So for anybody that's working on the Civil War, this would be a great place. to go. You've got all kinds of different source materials. And again, the educational websites are going to be a really good place for you to look. I would like to encourage you all to be careful about using entertainment websites. So some people, sometimes people will want to use the History Channel website. Some of their information is really high quality. Some of it is really good. Some of it is crap. So if you aren't sure that you're going to be able to determine what good and crap material looks like, then maybe you should steer away from that. So with these primary sources, you do have to be careful and make sure that you're getting something that is actually quality, that is actually significant, that is not someone's insane conspiracy ramblings. So hopefully this helps. The primary should be a little bit easier for you to go for. For most of you, you really won't be able to use JSTOR. Some of you may be able to find things on LexisNexis or one of the other library databases as well, but JSTOR tends to be more secondary sources. Anyway, hope this works for you guys. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks. Bye.